Hello friends, today's our topic is components of food. I am Ram Dinesh Narule, studying in St. Lawrence International School, Adharwadi, Kalyan West. Introduction to components of food. The food that we eat consists of different components or nutrients. Nutrients are substances that are needed by our body for proper growth and healthy body function. There are 6 main components present in food: carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and roughage or dietary fibers. These nutrients fulfill different needs of the body. Carbohydrates. So friends, as you can see, these all are the sources of carbohydrates. About carbohydrates. Carbohydrates provide energy to your body, which keeps it going throughout the day. There are two major types of carbohydrates in food. Sugar is also called simple carbohydrate. Fruits, honey, and table sugar are some sources of sugar. Sugar is called simple carbohydrate because it is easy to digest. So this is the image of sugar. Starch. Starch is also called complex carbohydrate. Rice, wheat, corn, potato, and bread are sources of starch. The starch is called complex carbohydrate because it is not that easy to digest as sugar. This is the image of starch, which is potato. There are two activities for you, my dear friends. First is the presence of sugar, and the second is the presence of starch in some food items. The first activity aim to test the presence of sugar in a food item. Materials needed: food sample. These are the food samples: sugar, bread, rice, and then Benedict solution. This is Benedict solution. Test tubes and Bunsen burner. Method: firstly, we have to crush the small amount of a food sample if solid. If you have took bread, then you have to crush the bread in of some small amount, and then you have to put in the test tube. Then we have to add some water in the test tube and shake the test tube well. Then we have to add few drops of Benedict solution to the test tube and heat it for about 1 minute. Here is the procedure they have shown, the diagram. Observation: depending on the amount of sugar present, the Benedict solution, which is blue, turns green, very low sugar content, yellow, which is medium sugar content, or brick red, which is very high sugar content. So this is the image. See, in the first one, there is no sugar present. That's why in this image there is no sugar present in the first one. That's why the color is blue, or the food sample is blue. And in the second one, there are some traces of sugar, which means so it is green and there are traces of sugar. In orange one, there are moderate, means it is medium sugar content, and the last one is brick red, which is very high sugar content. Conclusion: the change in the color of the Benedict solution confirms that the presence of sugar. So in this experiment we conclude that the change in the color of the Benedict solution confirms the presence of sugar. Now Activity 2. Aim to test the presence of starch in a food item. So for the materials needed are food samples, example potato, salt, bread and rice, dilute iodine solution, or you can take betadine also, test tube and Bunsen burner. Method: we have to crush a small amount of food sample if it is solid and put in the test tube. Then we have to add some water to the test tube and shake it. Then we have to heat the test tube for about 1 minute, and when the test tube is cooled down, we have to add a few drops of dilute iodine solution or betadine to it. Observation: the food sample turns bluish black. So here you can see in this image the food sample, which is potato, turned bluish black after adding iodine. Conclusion: the change in the color of the food sample to bluish black confirms the presence of starch. So in this experiment we conclude that if the color of the food sample turned to bluish black, there is some starch in it. So then we have to make a table. We have made. First column will be serial number, second column sample taken, third column observation, fourth column inference. So first sample we have took a slice of bread, and after putting iodine solution we observe that it is blue-black color. So we conclude that in a slice of bread the starch is present. Then second is freshly cut potato. After adding iodine, we observe that the color changes to blue-black. So we conclude that in potato starch is present. Third, rice. So here also blue-black color. So the starch is present. In sugar, we observe that no color change. So here starch is absent. And fifth, salt. Here also no color change. So here also starch is absent. Fats. So friends, these all are sources of fats. About fats. Fats too provide us energy. They are of two types: saturated and unsaturated fats. Saturated fats are normally solid at room temperature. Example, ghee. Unsaturated fats are mostly liquid at room temperature. Example, oil. Meat, oil, ghee, nuts, butter and cheese are sources of fats. Milk, fish and egg also contain fats. Though fats are essential for our body, eating too much of food items rich in fats can be harmful. Excess body fats lead to a condition called obesity. Obesity also may lead to heart diseases. So friends, there is one activity for you: the test of presence of fats in different food items. Activity: aim to test the presence of fats in food items. Materials needed: food sample and a sheet of filter paper. So food sample you can take anything you want, and a sheet of filter paper. If you don't have filter paper at your home, you can take tissue paper or a normal printing paper too. Method: if the food sample is liquid, rub a small amount of it onto the filter paper. And if the food sample is solid, keep it between the folds of the paper and crush it. So observation, oily stain appears on the filter paper if the fat is present in the food item. You can see this image. Here oily stain appears. So we conclude. So here fat is present. Conclusion. The appearance of the oil stain confirms the presence of fats. So in this experiment we conclude that if the oil stain appears on the piece of paper, the fats are present in that particular food item. Proteins. These all are the sources of proteins. Proteins are very important for our body. So friends, I am going to tell you something about proteins. Proteins are needed by our body for muscle building and even repairing worn out tissues. Our muscles, organs and even blood are made up of mostly proteins. If we do not eat proteins, our body will not be able to repair damaged cells or build new ones. Proteins in our diet come from both animal and plant sources. Meat, fish, egg, and milk are animal sources of proteins. Pulses, soya beans, grams, and nuts are plant sources of proteins. So friends, there is one more activity for you. The test of presence of proteins in different food items. So let's move to the activity. Activity aim to test the presence of proteins in food items. Materials needed: food sample, example egg white. This is egg white. You don't have to take the yellow part of the egg, which is the fat. You can call it egg yolk. Then copper sulfate solution. This in the bottle of blue color is the copper sulfate solution. Then sodium hydroxide. This is the sodium hydroxide. Then test tube and Bunsen burner. Method: take a small amount of the food item and put in the test tube. Add some water to the test tube and shake it. Next, heat the test tube for about 1 minute. After the test tube has cooled down, add 2 drops of each copper sulfate and sodium hydroxide to it. Observation: the food sample turns purple or violet. So in this we can see the food test of protein. Firstly, we have took milk. It is purple, means protein is in small amount. Then salt. So it is in blue color. If the protein is not present, the color of the food sample will be blue. And then egg white, which is the rich source of protein. Conclusion: the change in the color of the food sample to purple or violet confirms the presence of proteins. So in this experiment we conclude that if the color of the food sample turns to purple or violet after adding sodium hydroxide and copper sulfate solution, so it confirms that there are proteins in that food item. Vitamins. Friends, you can see on this these are the sources of vitamins. About vitamins. Vitamins help in protecting our body against diseases. Vitamins also help in keeping our eyes, bones, teeth and gums healthy. Vitamins are of different kinds known by different names. Some of these are vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E and vitamin K. There is also a group of vitamins called vitamin B complex. Our body needs all types of vitamins in small quantities. Vitamin A keeps our skin and eyes healthy. Vitamin C helps our body to fight against many diseases. Vitamin D helps our body use calcium for bones and teeth. Friends, here we do not have any activity. So let's move on to the next topic, which is minerals. So friends, these also are some sources of minerals. About minerals, just like vitamins, minerals also help our body to stay healthy. Minerals perform important functions such as formation of bones, teeth, and blood cells and helps in maintaining a normal heartbeat. Minerals are of two types, trace minerals and microminerals. Trace minerals. These are needed by body in very small amounts. Iron, zinc, copper and iodine are examples of trace minerals. So the second type of mineral is macromineral. These are needed by the body in larger amount as compared to trace minerals. Calcium, magnesium, sodium and potassium are examples of macrominerals. Friends, here also we don't have any activity. So let's move on to our next topic, which is roughage. So friends, these are some examples of roughage. There are two types of roughage which I am going to explain you now. So now about roughage. The portion of the plant food that remains undigested and do not provide any nutrients to our body is called roughage. However, roughage helps in maintaining a healthy digestive system. Roughage is of two types, soluble and insoluble. Soluble roughage is soluble in water, whereas insoluble roughage is not. Apple, strawberry, peach, and rice are examples of food items rich in soluble roughage. Whole grain, carrot, cabbage, turnip, and cauliflower are examples of food items rich in insoluble roughage. Lack of insoluble roughage in diet causes the stool to become hard and difficult to pass. This situation is called constipation. So friends, here also there is no activity for you. So let's move on to our next topic, which is water. We all know that water is very essential for our life. So this is the water cycle. I'll explain you in a shorter way. So because of the heat of the sun, the water in the oceans, rivers, streams, ponds, lakes and all the water sources and also plants, water in the plants evaporates and goes up in the sky and when it goes, it condenses and cools down and forms cloud. So when the cloud gets heavier and cannot hold any more water, then rain happens. So rain goes down again back into the streams, ponds, rivers, lakes, oceans, and some water goes into the underground storage. So this is water cycle. So I am going to tell you about water. Almost 70% of the body weight is water. Water is needed by our body for good health. So now I will tell you some functions of water. It helps to transport substance in our body. It helps to our body to absorb nutrients from food. It helps to regulate body temperature. It is needed for various chemical reactions such as digestion and excretion, which take place inside our body. We also get water from fruits, vegetables, and juices. We need to drink at least 2 to 3 liters of water per day to keep healthy.